Hey, this here is John from the Bub and Mother's Kitchen, and we're outside, and it's May 9th. It's the day before Mother's Day here in 2020, and you're right, up here in Winter Harbor, what you see behind me, if you can, is snow. That's right, it's snowing, it's gale force winds, and we're not going to be cooking outside today. So this week, let's take a look at what else we can do with Bub and Mother's rubs. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're in the kitchen, and like I said, there's not much chance we're cooking outside tonight. But you know, in addition to having great meats, whether it's chicken or ribs or you're smoking a pork shoulder, cooking steaks, burgers, and dogs, the other thing that makes for a great barbecue or any great event are the side dishes. What are you going to serve with them? So I thought, what better way than to celebrate side dishes today? So let's take a look at some of the staples of every picnic. And we're going to use our Bub and Mother's in virtually everything we make today. So let's grab some rub and get started. So before you start cooking, one of the things that we'd like to do is serve appetizers, okay? And I'm not going to cut up cheese or anything else, but you know, a lot of times just simple chips and dip. Guys, this is the easiest of everything. We're going to get a little more complicated as we go, but I will tell you, one of the simplest things to do is take sour cream, okay, and I think we'll make this one a little spicier. And basically, just open it up and start pouring in some Bub and Mother's honey and heat, okay? Depending on how spicy you like your dip, we're just going to mix it up, work it in there. I mean, what's easier? You don't even have to get a new jar. Okay, it's a little easier if you use a bigger jar, but again, you know, you got a nice top to seal this one. So once it's mixed, you can kind of put it in the freezer and you know, let the flavors really blend in there with the cheese. Okay, and believe it or not, that's as simple as it gets. Now you can taste it, add more as you go. But basically this thing is ready. We're just going to simply cover it up and put it right in the refrigerator. Appetizer number one is done. What could be simpler than that? One of the other things though, for appetizers, and we're going to start those, okay, yep, eggs, is to make a deviled egg. And we're going to just twist on it a little bit. Again, basically your deviled egg is mayonnaise, mustard, a couple other seasonings depending on your taste. Take the yolks out of a hard-boiled egg and mix them all up. Well, all we're going to do today is we're just going to use the yolk, some mayonnaise, and our Bub and Mother's. Okay, so I'm going to put this in boiling water. Set the timer. We're going to go on to our next dish. Pork. One of the barbecue staples, whether it's ribs, a pork shoulder, pork chops, where you pulled pork. One of the more popular sides with all that is coleslaw. Coleslaw basically is cabbage. So we're going to use cabbage. I like to add carrots. All right. So the simplest way to do any coleslaw, all right, is we're just going to cut off a little bit of a side and just start chopping it. That's all there is to it. Depending on how you like it, some people like it very, very finely chopped. I like it coarse, almost like it's spaghetti, so that just put some of that in here. Okay, it's easier to put on a sandwich. We're going to cut off a little bit more. Okay, and you can see, I mean, basically it's just going to come apart. All right, we'll chop that up. Give us some consistency, and we'll let it sit there. And again, now we're going to add the carrots. What I like to do is just simply take a potato peeler and small pieces, that's all. Just keep turning that carrot, adding some pieces in there, and that's all we're going to do. Okay, come the other way. Get a long one here. Again, you can put in as much carrot as you want. Other things you can add, red cabbage, you know, for a different color. Another thing people will do is they'll take take fresh broccoli and just cut off the stems and do the same thing with the stems. It adds a green and it's got a nice crunch to it, and you'll be all set from there. So we're just going to go with that. Now, what can we do with extra cabbage? All right, well, this is one of the few things I'll show you without a Bub and Mother's dish. And it's something that you can do at home and a lot of people don't think of. They get a little nervous with it. So, just kind of cut it up. Any old way will do. Stick it in a mason jar. Okay? Again, it doesn't matter. You just want to jam it down there. Okay. Take salt. I like sea salt. Good bunch. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to press it down. Get it down as far as you can. Add some more. Cut it a different way. Then grab a bunch. Just keep shoving it in there. Okay. More salt. Push it down. Okay, some of the bigger leaves you can take out once you get it down there. Alright. Chop off a little bit more. What are we doing? For you hot dog lovers, nothing says barbecue or cookouts, I should say, like some fresh sauerkraut. Yeah, just push it down. What's going to happen is that salt is going to go a long way to breaking this cabbage down, and that, quite frankly, folks, is all you need in a good sauerkraut. See that? Let it sit. That's all you got to do. Okay, so when we come back, I'm going to get this cleaned up, and we're going to finish up our coleslaw, start making our deviled eggs. We'll see you in a minute. Alright, so here we are back in the kitchen. We've got our coleslaw, mix it all up with the carrots, and we're going to just mix up our mayonnaise. We're going to make a little extra today because we're going to use this mixture in two different components. Okay. Now people will ask, you know, should I use the honey and heat, our spicier rub, or should I use the down east dinner dust? And there's really two answers to that. One is taste. Okay. You know, if you like things a bit spicy, by all means use the honey and heat. But for those of you that like a little variety and you want to do something specific with your meal so that one dish complements the next, what I like to do is kick up my sides and let the meat taste like meat. So what does that mean? It generally means we use our dinner dust, which is a milder spice blend, all right? But it's still got plenty of flavor in it. For our meats, we rub our ribs, we rub our beef, and mix it into our burger. And then on the side dishes, I like to use the honey and heat and kick that up. So all we're gonna do, again, there's the beauty of these ingredients, folks, is you don't have to write anything down. It's just mayonnaise, honey, and heat. How much? Up to you. Okay? And we mix it in there nice. Get some good color to it. Okay? Don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of taking on the color of the chipotle and paprika. And, you know, my goodness, we love that. All right, so you got it well mixed. Two suggestions. If you're going to buy coleslaw in a bag, which is perfectly okay, all right, if you're going to buy the mixes, then what I would suggest is when you mix this up, put it in the refrigerator by itself for a few hours. All right, if you're cutting fresh cabbage, whatever you're using to make your slaw, then what I would do is I'd mix this, put it in the slaw, stir it all up, and then put the whole thing in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. Overnight is obviously best. But again, all we're gonna do is get this mix in there. Stir it up. Blends very easily. And what will happen as it sits in there, because you know in our rubs we use a small amount of sea salt. You know, Bub and Mother's, we're 100% natural. We believe salt is a great additive for flavor, but it shouldn't be filler. So what I'm saying is, read your labels when you go to the store, because you'll find a lot of the rubs on the shelf, salt is the #1 ingredient, which basically means it's mostly salt. So, all right, we got this all mixed up. Now, I don't know if you can see right down here, we've got our eggs. We took them out of the boiling water. We put them in a bowl with some ice water, and when we come back, we're going to mix up the deviled eggs. Okay, through the magic of television, I've eliminated the one thing in the kitchen that I am not really good at, and that is peeling eggs. So, before we came back on, I got everything peeled except the last one, just to prove that I will do it. So, we'll get this one peeled, and we'll get started on the rest of the recipe. All right, the key is you want to make sure you get all the shells off, which we did. Now, what are we doing with the shells, the size from the vegetables that we're not using? I tend to bag them up together because they're great in the vegetable garden. So, let's cut them open. Oh yeah, these are nice yolks. We're just going to stick them in here. A little tougher than I thought today, probably because I shouldn't be using a knife. Right. There we go. Much faster. How about that? Okay. Now again, depending on your taste, just to review, we have added honey and heat to mayonnaise. Oops. Get that out of there. And we're putting the yolks in the mix. And last one. Oops. And again, depending on how many people would determine how many of these you want to make. You know, I know I'm not supposed to do that. So we'll get it all washed off and prep. All right. So we have our mix. And let's just start putting it together. And you want to get it mixed good. You don't really want chunks of yellow. You want it all to be blended in. And you want that egg flavor. You can start to smell it. That up. Now, one of the things you want to do, now that you start to get your eggs in there, take the back of your spoon, okay? But then that spoon is done. Wow. Let us start to fill. Now, if you're real fancy and you've got one of those cake things that you put icing on, you can certainly use those. I like just spooning it in. Get that out of the way so you can kind of see it. And just like with the slaw, if possible, you want to take these and simply put them in the refrigerator. All right. Now you notice I'm not doing the ones that I broke because I want to make sure I got enough, which I do. So, rather than mess up the nice ones, I'll put a little in the broke one. Cheers. You know what? You got a little bit of spice in there, and the consistency of the yolk with the mayonnaise. Man, I think you'll knock it out of the park with this one. So what do we have? Right? We made some sauerkraut. That'll be ready in a few days. We've got deviled eggs. We've got coleslaw. We've got a nice dip. Well, we're back in the kitchen and want to wrap things up, show you the finished product. Got to thinking, I'm looking out, I can see that I've got my hat on, and you're probably wondering why, since we're indoors. Well, it's really simple. I didn't want to get a lot of hair in the food, and no place around here is open because of our shelter in place, if you will, due to the coronavirus. So let's take a look at what the meal looked like. You want to know what we use the regular dinner dust for, to create a mild meat. We've got our deviled eggs, we've got our coleslaw, and we've got some chicken. And it's probably better to show you this way. So we've got some nice chicken, 2 hours low and slow, some deviled eggs, some honey and heat coleslaw, and of course, being up here in Maine, a local favorite, Gagan Brothers. Just so you can see what we've got here, it's an American Pale Ale, and it's called Smiling Irish Bastard. It is tasty, but it is also fun to say. So till next time, keep your smoke low and slow, stay healthy, and keep smoking.